At the time, I think they passed an urgency ordinance against cruising, but it has never been a problem for the 5 years that I've been on the council. Now, I know that some other cities, particularly those cities that have El Camino highway going through them, have experienced some problems. But I haven't witnessed any cruising in Cupertino lately.
Are you aware of any that's going to be coming?
Are you an advocate of cruising?
No, I just wanted to know. I also want to know what the boundaries were. Was it only Cupertino or neighboring cities?
Could you repeat that again?
I wanted to know the boundaries of the ordinance.
The boundaries of the ordinance? Well, the boundaries, it would have applied citywide.
Citywide.
But of course, yeah, the only street where that would have been a problem would be Stevens Creek. I think you'll agree with me, Pat, that it would not have been a problem on De Anza, but probably primarily Stevens Creek. And that's where the cruising occurred, 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay. I also had a few questions about the 10 o'clock curfew.
Okay, that's another new one. There is no curfew in Cupertino.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. It was like a rumor through our school.
Where did you hear that one? Are your teachers telling you that?
No, it was from our editor. And
okay. There's no curfew that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, and that's all my questions.
Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Some good questions.
That's certainly very good questions, and I'm glad to hear a high school student
that's
calling
good.
and involved in asking the mayor questions. All right, let's take another call. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Good evening. I live in Monte Vista.
I can't hear you, so you're going to have to help us out and speak up a little louder.
Okay. I live in Monte Vista, and recently there's been some left turn prohibitions put in. I intended to make it to the council meeting that they discussed that at, but I had priorities. Right now there is no easy way for us to get out of Monte Vista and head towards Foothill Boulevard. The only road that we can make a left turn on is Orange Avenue, which is blocked off a block away from the traffic light, and so we have to zig around. I was wondering if there was any other road plans, or maybe opening up Orange Avenue or something.
For calling.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
It is a good question. There are no new roads planned for the area. For those people that are familiar with Monte Vista, it's an interesting mix of residential and some light industry in that area. And obviously it's also, so you have the mix of residential and some industry traffic, but you also have the commuter trying to use Monte Vista to cut through to get to Stevens Creek or to McClellan, or even in the past to Blackberry Farm. The council usually hates to close streets, make them one way, or put up stop signs unless there's a serious problem. So what we've done in the Monte Vista area is that we've tended to rely very heavily on the residents themselves. And the Monte Vista Homeowners Association in the last year has been very active in coming up with recommendations. And they have made some proposals to us, and there will be some trial measures put in place. But from what I've seen, it's been an active homeowners association, and the city planning department has tried to stay in touch with them. And so I would imagine that whatever corrections in the future that are needed in addition to what we've already put in place would not happen unless we had the concurrence of the association.
You do have a problem in Monte Vista, don't you, sir?
Yes, I do.
I was wondering, do you happen to know the answer to our trivia question this evening? What was the first $1 million business in Cupertino?
I don't know what the answer is, but I know that I don't own it.
Well,
okay, thank you.
I do have one other question.
Okay, you're going to have to speak up again.
I do have one other question. The two streets, Pasadena and Imperial, are both in serious need of repaving. Do you know if this is on the agenda at any time?
Good question. We do have a real aggressive paving plan. About 25% of the streets are going to be repaved. I'm not aware of when those two particular streets are on the schedule. It's something that if you're interested about where your particular street is on the overall schedule, the person to call would be Bert Viskovich at City Hall. That's 252-4505. And that applies to anybody in the city. They can always call and find out what the current plans are. And we basically will put a street on the schedule based on a visual observation of wear and tear, and also we have a computerized program that tells us when streets are up for repair.
Thank you very much for calling, sir.
Thank you very much for being there to answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Let's take another call, Phil. We have a number of callers tonight. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, speak right up so we can hear your good question.
Can you hear me?
No, you're going to have to speak a little louder.
I have a question concerning the garbage service in Cupertino.
Okay.
I told the lady when she answered the phone, I've lived here for 23 years and we've always had Los Altos garbage, and I feel that they're very restrictive as to, one extra bag and they charge you as compared to Browning Ferris, etc. And now that Browning Ferris has lost their contract in San Jose, I wonder, does Cupertino ever try to contract with another garbage company?
We periodically, on a regular basis, for those people that aren't aware, BFI does not do business in Cupertino. The person that takes care of the garbage in Cupertino is Los Altos Garbage. And I think they've done a good job. We've rarely ever had any complaints, and I think their rates are very competitive and that they have provided a good service. But you're right, it's primarily a two-can service, and if you want more than that, you do have to call them, and they will charge you accordingly. Their contract ends in 1989. And at that time, we would be reviewing any competitive bids from any companies. But until 1989, I don't anticipate any changes in the contract.
I see. One other question. How long are you allowed to park a large boat on a trailer on the streets in Cupertino?
It's that's a difficult one to enforce. I imagine what the caller is asking is a common complaint where there is a large motor home or large boat that just seems to sit in front of somebody's house forever. If that problem persists for over 24 hours, call Bob Urista. Bob is at City Hall, and he's one of our enforcement officers. Give Bob Urista a call, and the first thing that he'll do is try and talk to the owner of the property. And if that doesn't work, then we will start citing the person. But that's a common complaint. I know it does drive. That's something that tends to drive people crazy.
Well, this one's been here for over a month, so.
Okay. First thing tomorrow, call Bob Urista at City Hall.
And what's the number on that again?
252-4505, and the last name is Urista, Bob Urista.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for calling. Now, as you may or may not know, this is Cupertino's only live call-in show where you can speak interactively with the mayor. That's right. For the next half hour, he'll be taking calls, answering your questions, responding to comments. Simply call 252-4641 if you haven't already, and one of the operators will answer as quickly as possible. Remember, this is only a half-hour program, so get your calls in. Last show, some people thought it was an hour program and couldn't ask their questions over the air, so you don't want this to happen to you. So right now, we have a caller who did call in. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air. Go right ahead and ask your question.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I would like to ask you about the proposed housing subsidiaries for people employed in Cupertino. I'd really like to know why you and your colleagues think this is a responsibility of the city, and if you think you can do a better job than the individuals and their employers. And thirdly, how you think you can control the many, many facets of this. For example, the employee who gets a windfall profit, or gets a windfall in buying a house cheap, how can you stop him from selling that house quickly after he's bought and then walking away with those profits?
Okay. When you talk about housing subsidy, you're talking about below market or the BMR program?
Yes.
Okay. Going back to your first question, why does the council get involved, or why do they feel that it's their business to? I think there's been a concern, real quickly, that in this town, people in first home buyers and other people, senior citizens, are being forced out of the housing market, and we're not having a true mixed community. So there's been a concern to develop a below market rate program that would allow more people at different levels to be able to enter. In terms of whether or not it's going to have a large impact, it's not. But it's something that we have been working with. It has not worked perfectly, but it's something I think the council so far has been committed to. In terms of people turning a profit, there are very strict limitations on if they are going to sell the home within a certain period of time, how much profit they can make, and the city has to be notified. So that there is no windfall profit that these people can walk away with.
Okay.
We've been very careful to put guidelines in place so that people don't.
Well, do they when they sell the house, do they refund 10% of the sale to the city?
When the house is up for resale, the city's involved.
In what way?
And as soon as they're notified, and the conditions of sale have to be approved by the city. And depending on how long they've been there, it's usually something like a 10% profit. But it's not outrageous, and it's not a windfall.
No, but are you saying when they sell, that 10% reverts back to the city? Or what are you saying?
No, they're allowed to make a minor profit, and then the house is reverted back to the city so that they can in turn sell it.
Well, we certainly appreciate you calling, sir. Do you happen to know the answer to our trivia question this evening? What is the first $1 million business in Cupertino? Want to give that a try?
I think it's probably the grain elevator.
You think it might be what?
The grain elevator. I don't know the name of it.
It's.
No, we'll take that one.
That's right. That's close. All right. Thank you very much for calling.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, let's take another call. Caller, you're on the air.
Jerry Keating calling.
Well, hello, Jerry.
One of the things that was mentioned earlier in the program was the caller from Monte Vista with
Yes.
the curfew question.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And essentially, while Cupertino, as the mayor pointed out, does not have its own ordinance, there is a county-wide ordinance, which is a 10 to sunrise for those under 18.
No, that's the first time I've ever heard of that, Jerry. I know that we didn't have anything in Cupertino.
It's been an awfully long time since you or I were 18.
That's probably true. I haven't had to worry about it lately. I hope the caller or the student from Monte Vista is still on the air so that they could hear that.
And by the way, Jerry, do you happen to know the answer to our trivia question this evening? What was the first $1 million business in Cupertino?
I'm going to attempt Mariani Packing.
Well, you're warm, but not hot.
Thank you.
But thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
All right. We are going to have to go to a break now, and don't forget, while we're on our break, be sure and pick up your phone and call 252-4641 and ask the mayor a question. He's right here, and he'll be glad to answer. We're back with Cupertino's own live call-in program with Mayor Phil Johnson called Ask the Mayor. So don't forget, pick up your phone, call 252-4641, and ask the mayor your question. We're going to take a call right now. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Pat. I have a question for Mayor Johnson. Is it true that the mayor's office for Cupertino is actually not a full-time position, that you actually do work somewhere else?
Oh, it's a good question.
It's a well-kept secret. None of the positions in Cupertino are full-time. So the mayor and other council members are all part-time. We all have other jobs. I work at a computer company called Altos Computer Systems, and we have a teacher, we have a housewife, we have an architect, and we have an insurance person. So we have a well-rounded council.
It sounds like that. You know, Cupertino, I guess, is a big growth area for all these high-tech companies. Is it something that we're looking to in the future that soon we're going to start needing a full-time council and a full-time mayor in order to keep Cupertino, I guess, on the right track?
Well, so far with this, the size, Cupertino is about 40,000 people, and we currently have a strong city manager form of government. We've got an excellent staff. And at this point in time, there's never been a need to have the necessity to spend enough money to have a full-time council or a full-time mayor. If the city perhaps were to grow to the 50 or 60,000 population area, and we're providing police services and fire services, then I think it becomes an issue for discussion. Right now, I don't see, the city's running very efficiently, and I don't see anybody asking for stronger council, mayor form of government.
Great. Has anybody answered your trivia question yet?
We've had, I guess, a partial answer.
But not a full and complete one, and we're waiting for you to give us the answer, sir. What was the first $1 million business in Cupertino?
Well, actually, I was going to guess the Mariani Brothers company.
No, that's close, but not quite true.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
They were probably the second $1 million business.
Oh, the second one.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, let's take another call. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, I don't have a question, but I think I know the answer to the trivial question.
Terrific.
Okay. What is it?
Is it Cali Mill?
It's Cali. It is a Cali mill.
It is?
And or Cali Brothers.
So you get to call the mayor and find out when you get your free lunch.
Great.
Who am I talking to?
This is Cindy Kasuchi.
Okay. Okay, fine, Cindy.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for calling. All right. Thank you for calling. All right. That caller is really up on Cupertino history, I think, and knows who the first business was in Cupertino. In fact, it goes back a long
That's
way,
true.
doesn't it?
It goes back over 50 years when the Cali brothers first started a business, and it's been a very active business, granary, trucking business, and they later incorporated, I think, in the early 40s. So it's actually Cali, the Cali Corporation, but it's still an ongoing concern and a very visible landmark in the community.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Which brings up a question that I think that many citizens have been speaking to me about, and that is that same area and that same property, what is called the Cupertino Civic Center. Those are the plans that are in the future for that. Could you tell me what's happening in the development of that Cupertino Civic Center?
Well, the council has recently selected an architect to develop a proposal, and last night we did review the plans. We have also selected a financial consultant to help us if and when we decide to raise bonds or sell bonds to finance this. It's probably going to be about a $4 million project. We're looking to expand the library, and we're looking to expand City Hall, and to make the Civic Center more of an area that looks tied in and is more of a focal point.
So we can expect a lot to be happening in that area.
We'll be real busy between now and the next 24 months.
And speaking of the expansion of the library, it's my understanding that there's a local Cupertino citizen who has been appointed to the County Library Commission. Is that correct?
That's correct. David Rohde has recently, his name was recommended to the county to be the City of Cupertino's representative. And I think it's important. The library is one of the most heavily used services in the city. We have a large network of volunteers, and to serve on the county at this particular time, I think is crucial, and I think we have an excellent selection with David Rohde.
Yes, so I think we could say congratulations to David on that appointment. It's also important, I think, to Cupertino because that expansion of the library is also very dependent on the County Library Commission and their recommendations, as I understand it. Is that correct?
That's true. Unless they approve this, we won't be able to go forward, which would really be unfortunate because here, we have the city that's willing to help pitch in and make it a better service for its citizens. So.
Well, that's good luck, David. I'm sure you'll represent Cupertino well. Right now, why don't you call 252-4641 and ask Mayor Phil Johnson a question. Don't forget, it's an interactive call. In other words, when you call, you can ask him a question, you can reply, so you'll enjoy talking with them. And you might also want to call and try finding out what some of the things are that are happening in the city. The mayor is always here ready to answer your questions, so don't forget to call 252-4641. One of the callers asked a question about the garbage pickup, and I understand there's to be a fall garbage pickup. When is it, and exactly what happens at that time?
We're going to have some very popular service that is provided between the city pays for the extra charges that are incurred. And right now, the next fall pickup is going to be scheduled for October 12th and October 19th, 2 Saturdays. Watch the scene, the Cupertino scene. and or call the City Hall to find out which date your city, your home, will be having the service.
So different parts of the city will have the service on a different day.
That's true. We typically divide the city in half. And there are a few restrictions. We do ask that the newspapers are neatly stacked, and that if you do have limbs and trimmings from trees, that they be in certain lengths and tied together. But like I said, it's a very popular service, and we provide it twice a year, and the next one's coming in October. And if you need any further information, call City Hall or look to the Cupertino scene, and it will spell out exactly how to participate.
Well, that's I know it is very popular because most people get everything ready and together, and it's difficult to get.
If you drive
get that
around the
done.
city on those days, it's you notice almost everybody participates.
Really
So.
true. Now, something else that I know has been tried, and that's Household Poison Collection Day. I think it's many citizens are aware now and are becoming more aware that things they keep stored, paints, different kinds of poisons, insecticides, really shouldn't be put in the regular garbage can. There was a Household Poison Collection Day earlier in the year. Are there plans for another one?
You're right. We've had one. It was very successful. First time ever. The next one's scheduled for sometime in April of next year. We're also working with some other cities, some neighboring cities such as Sunnyvale and Mountain View, such that our citizens would be able to participate whenever other cities have a poison collection day. So hopefully it will happen more than once a year, but the next one that's solely sponsored by the city will happen sometime in April.
Okay, so citizens could watch for that date in the Cupertino scene.
It will be advertised in the Cupertino scene, and we'll be mentioning it at council meetings as well.
Seems to me that's very helpful because so many times people have collections of these things that can actually be dangerous for small children
Oh,
or
that's
for
true.
animals.
There are a lot of things that are being stored in the garage or even in the house that shouldn't be, and people really just don't know how to dispose of them, and so they sit there collecting dust. And I think this is something that we should have done a long time ago.
So very good service. I'm glad it's happening. One of the things I hear about in the city, Phil, is people are concerned about noise pollution. What steps are being taken to, in some way, curb this problem?
Well, noise pollution has been an ongoing concern. We actually have a very stringent ordinance, and that deals with decibel levels and what's acceptable and what's not. If anybody feels that they have a problem, whether it's trucks or whether it's a jacuzzi in somebody's backyard and the motor is too loud, call City Hall. And again, I keep throwing this guy's name out, but he is one of our code enforcement officers, Bob Urista. Give him a call. We now have 2 people, by the way, in that department. But give Bob a call. We'll go out there and monitor the noise. And if it is too loud, we will issue citations immediately. So we have a very restrictive ordinance, so if you have a problem, call us and we'll send somebody out.
Well, that's good to know because I think very often people wonder, and there's nothing quite as irritating as noise.
That's true.
When people have a really hard time
And
with
the noise problems are really diverse. They're across the board.
That's true.
So.
And what bothers one person isn't always what bothers another.
That's true.
So that's important. Well, we're almost out of time, but I want to thank you for participating in this edition of Ask the Mayor. Our next show won't be until October 16th, and that's a Wednesday night at 7 p.m. This is unusual for us because we usually come to you live on the first and third Tuesday evenings of the month, and we will continue to do so. The next Ask the Mayor has been changed to the 16th because of a special convention all the council members will be attending in October. So don't forget, Wednesday, October 16th at 7 p.m. Consult your Cupertino scene as well as Channel 30 Bulletin for more information. And don't forget, the Special Planning Commission meeting coming up here right on this channel, right after this program. Thanks to all our Channel 30 volunteers, and thanks to you for watching. For Ask the Mayor, Phil Johnson and I bid you good evening.
Good night, everyone.
Good
night,
night.
Pat.
Good night, Phil.